Yo, what's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Ultra League video. Today I'm going to be showcasing a really fun team sent into the channel by Star-Lord. Thank you very much Star-Lord for sending these in. Really fun battles here with Registeel, the newly buffed Community Day move Haxorus, which is actually running Earthquake and Breaking Swipe. And of course we have Altaria in the back, which is a very fun and rare pick for the Ultra League, and this Pokemon seems to be really good in the Ultra League. Of course it has like coverage, in this case we're using Dazzling Gleam. Of course you can use Moonblast. This Pokemon is very unique in the Ultra League, has a lot of really good and positive matchups here. Of course it'll beat things like Trevenant, Swampert, I believe it beats Giratina as well. And Charizard, it has a lot of really positive matchups in this league, and it looks like a Pokemon that is really good for building. Of course beats Obstagoon. It has a bit of an okay matchup against things like Pidgeot and the 2-Shield, and it seems to be just a really good neutral Pokemon. Now of course in this team we're double weak to Charm and Fairies in general, so we have Registeel in the lead to take care of any potential Charmers or Ice types that may be coming through like Walreins. And then like I said, with the newly buffed Haxorus, we're actually running Earthquake, so hopefully we get to land some Earthquakes today. But in any case we're going to be debuffing opponents with Breaking Swipe, and with like counter damage, it does fairly well against Walrein as well. It's not a terrible matchup anymore with Breaking Swipe, so definitely a very fun and interesting team. Today's question of the day is, what is your favourite XL Pokemon in the Ultra League? So what I'm thinking about here is things like Umbreon, stuff that's pretty common in the Ultra League. Some people like to build things like Noctowls, Pelipers, Skarmories, of course Umbreon, Galarian Stunfisk, Altaria. Let me know which of those Pokemon that is typically a Great League Pokemon is your favourite to use in Ultra League. I'm definitely very interested in building a few of these Pokemon, especially Lantern. I think it's very strong in the Ultra League. And of course let me know in the comment section down below which is your favourite. While you're at it folks, hit that like button, it's absolutely free, helps out a ton, and of course subscribe to the channel. We're getting pretty close here to I think 2200 now. Thank you very much for all the support in the videos, and if you do want to see more Ultra League content this week, do of course let me know. Alright, so hopping into the battles here, we've got Registeel versus the Spider. Now this thing is going to look to farm us the whole way down, but unfortunately for them, we do reach the Focus Blast. Registeel, just like the Great League, is super thick, and again it's another Pokemon I want to build for this league. It's going to take me about 120 XL candies, which unfortunately it's something I don't have access to. So I mean all I have to do is walk it for like, 1,000 kilometers and I'll be fine. So in comes Jellicent. We're making a really savage call here and just calling the Surf. One-shot ball would knock out at this point, and the opponent still has a low health Mandibuzz. Now it really just depends, how much energy does the opponent have in the back, and can we get to a move on the Mandibuzz. So I've already farmed it up, and we've farmed this thing the whole way down. We're coming out of this matchup with a move, and that's going to look to threaten the Mandibuzz. Very good games and very well played. Really nice call there on the bait. I think the opponent definitely had to bait to win that one. We have a good lead here. We have Tapu Fini, of course. This thing, like, it's pretty bad for our backline. It's not absolutely terrible, because of course all moves are resisted except for the Moonblast on either side. Surf coming through, that will obviously do a little chip into Reggie. The opponent makes a catch onto their own Reggie. In the Ultra League, this is not such a bad thing. You need 2 moves to take this thing anyway, so like debuffing it is not necessarily a bad thing. And we're going to see here, can we actually outpace to this next one as well? Oh, I thought we were maybe going to look to go for a catch there. That's absolutely fine. The opponent will go for nerfed Focus Blast, and we're coming in with Haxorus. This is what this thing is all about. Now, I don't think we can farm this thing the whole way down in time, so what we're going to look to do is go for a debuff and a farm down, and then look to get off a Breaking Swipe or an Earthquake on Tapu Fini. Attack fell, so this opponent is double debuffed, and you're going to see here, this is still going to do a lot of damage. That does about 55-60% damage, even though they're completely debuffed twice, so pretty funny that it's still like glassy. But will the opponent respect the Earthquake? Ladies and gents, that is the question. Nobody's running this with Earthquake, and the opponent might just think that we farmed them down. Yes, ladies and gents, they do not respect it, and at this point, they're going to be in a farm down range for maybe it's a little bit of a tough farm down for Reggie. I think it is doable. But I think we're most likely coming in with Altaria to get the farm down. The opponent should not be able to make a Moonblast here. I think this will just be a Surf. I could be completely off here. I do believe this is just a Surf. That's fantastic. And at this point, the opponent comes in with Mewtwo. We're loaded with energy, and we're just going to rip through this thing. So the opponent sees the writing on the wall, then smashes their phone off the wall, and we hop into the next one. In comes Registeel versus Scrafty. Pretty terrible lead. We're going to come straight into Haxorus here, and we're going to look to maybe look to EQ the Tapu Fini. Has the Tapu Fini been getting Earthquaked? Let's find out. We're going to send this the whole way through. Will the opponent respect it? They do respect it. Definitely a little bit surprised to see that shield right there. I guess the opponent is aware of this and have been getting Earthquaked by Haxorus. So maybe the surprise is out there, people know. They correctly go for a Moonblast, and we're going to come in with Registeel. Now the best case scenario here is to come out of this matchup with energy. All the opponent can do is surf us, right? As you can see, that's only chipping us. It's not really threatening at the moment. So we can look to go for a Zap Cannon, and I think a Zap Cannon will take them out, so maybe an Undercharge would be nice here. Yeah, this does take them out. And what I would like to see there is maybe just a Focus Blast ready for the Scrafty. And we can eat so many surfs and nothing, no problem at all. And of course Reggie's going to be rough against Scrafty no matter what. So getting that shield, or getting that one shot, could have been very, very clutch. But we're seeing here Jellicent once again. This is not a bad matchup for Altaria. Unless it's a Fairy type and an Ice type, this thing seems to just have a really good matchup across the board. Even against things like Cobalion, which I'm sure we'll see later on at some point. You can go for neutral Sky Attacks, neutral Moon Blasts, which will threaten a lot of damage. Now, we're going to go for another Sky Attack. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. They decide to let it go surprisingly here because I'm not sure, to be honest, why. To be honest, they probably should protect this Jellicent. They go for a Surf to part, and in comes the Scrafty. Now, how many times do they have to foul play us to get rid of us here? They go for the Power Punch, and I think at this point, we're probably going to fire off the Sky Attack, maybe look to go into Registeel, try to get off one attack on that, and then maybe come in and look to sweep with this Pokemon. We're going to go for a catch here. We do go for a nice catch on Registeel. You absolutely love to see it. This should be the foul play, which will do a lot to the tin can. And can we farm this down in time? We don't want the opponent to leave here with a move. GG's. We didn't have to, of course, for the move. That's one thing you always have to keep in mind. Pretty negative lead here, so we swap straight out. The opponent's staying in here, so we'll see what they decide to do. This thing can know a few different moves. Sand Tomb, Rock Tomb, Shadow Ball, of course. This Pokemon is a little bit tough to run, of course, with all of the Swamperts. The opponent is on Rock Tomb, so this is a Pokemon we have to watch out for later on. If they come out of here with energy, that Rock Tomb will look to threaten Altaria. And we're just debuffing each other's attack here at this stage, and I think we're going to look to let this go. Maybe come in for an aggressive farm down with Altaria. Now, the thing is, we've got them debuffed, so these Rock Tombs are nowhere near as threatening anymore. You don't want to come back in with Reggie, so we'll just get ahead on energy with this thing, and see what the opponent comes in with. Now, I'm thinking here, they need some sort of protection here for against like Swampert. They need some sort of protection against dark types, and they do have a Golisopod and a Chestnut in the back, so it makes perfect sense, right? Chestnut really, really good against Swampert, and of course Golisopod is just looking very, very neutral and good in this meta. Wouldn't be too great. I guess it's okay against dark types with the X-Scissor coverage, so definitely an interesting backline here. Now we go for the Zap Cannon. The opponent do let it go, which is unfortunate. So this time we do go for the Focus Blast. That looks to almost take them out, and the opponent is going to have to throw two. If you're going to shield anything, you shield up the first one normally. Will the opponent, or will we respect it? No, we just let it go at this point, and look to farm it down with Altaria. In comes the Golisopod. We're going to fire off this Sky Attack straight away. I think the opponent, if they wanted to, they could just double shield this and look to put us under a lot of pressure. Now this is going to be most likely a Liquidation. Oh, it's X's or bait, okay. Not sure why the opponent's baiting here. I guess they do want to try and get off another Liquidation here. But I think that's just a bit of an unnecessary bait there, because you do have the chance of the defense drop, and if we do happen to let it go, because it is just a water type move, yeah, they're going double X's are very interesting here. I feel like they definitely could have got off at least one Liquidation. It takes us 15 turns to get to this, so I'm not too sure what the opponent's doing there. In comes Chestnut, and they concede the match. Pretty bad lead here, but Reggie actually takes this in the Zero Shield scenario, which is a very interesting one. I found that one out the hard way while doing some practice battles yesterday. Reggie takes that much in the zeros, but we're going to come into this bad boy here. Now this thing is going to absolutely one-shot us with Icy Wind. You don't really hear that too often, do you? Icy Wind is typically not a move that one-shots, but we do debuff them. We're going to come in with Reggie, and I think we might look to do the exact same thing that I mentioned before. I'll look to come out with Loaded Energy, maybe go for a bit of an undercharge. We're going to be debuffed here as well, so we have to be careful with the undercharge, make sure we don't undercharge it too much. But you know, to be fair, this thing doesn't know any moves that threatens us. So unfortunately we don't get the undercharge off, and we come back into the Cobalion matchup. So we're going to see how this matchup plays out. I feel like this is going to be bait dependent. The opponent goes straight for the Stone Edge. It's a very, very good shield here, and it looks like we're building up to the Dazzling Gleam. I think we do go straight Sky Attack. Whenever you're using Dazzling Gleam over Moonblast, you typically just go for Sky Attack. Moonblast is a much better move than Dazzling Gleam, and Sky Attack is much more energy efficient, and of course a little bit less risky. As you can see here, if we shield up, okay, we're just gonna let this go, but we were definitely getting to two Sky Attacks there, so I think that would have been a little bit better. But you know, it is what it is. Maybe we wouldn't have got to free moves, so maybe going for one of those moves was better. Now, we can let one or two of these go, and these will add up, of course, Secret Swords on the Registeel, and in comes Swampert. Now, this is looking to be a good game to the opponent. I just don't think we have a way out of this match. Unless the opponent, I don't know, drops their phone and it lands in a glass of water and the phone completely explodes. I think that's our win condition here. The opponent is going for Hydro Cannons, and we don't even get the next Focus Blast off, unfortunately. Normally you don't get farmed down by Swampert, but in this scenario, like, our health is just so low. Good game, some well played. Very good lead here against Pidgeot. The opponent's going to come into Meganium, Very nice pick for the Ultra League. And at this point, they can fire off Earthquakes, they can fire Frenzy Plants. That is all they know that's going to do any damage whatsoever, right? Yeah, I think that's like their two main moves. I'm not sure if they do know a third move. I know they don't know any poison moves. Earthquake coming through. In this situation, you just go for Frenzy Plant. Not that it makes a big difference, but Frenzy Plant would do more damage. We're going for a very nice undercharge here, and this is a beautiful undercharge. It's going to allow us to come out of here with 2 Scat attacks, and that's going to look to threaten. Yep, another Frenzy Plant coming through. At this point, energy is more valuable than health on this thing, because of course we're going to go down quite soon anyway. We'll see what the opponent decides to come in with, and they come back in with Pidgeot. So they must not have a great answer to Altaria, which would make you think that maybe Haxorus in the back is looking to be quite strong. So we're going to farm up and go for the Dazzling Gleam, and see if the opponent does decide to respect it. The opponent is respected, and at this point, will they commit to the farm down? It looks like I think once again, we probably would be getting to 3 Scat attacks. I think in that last situation, we were only getting to 2 moves, no matter what 2 moves they were. In that situation, I think we were getting off multiple Scat attacks. And now in comes Cresselia. This is an interesting match. This Pokemon, of course, knows Moonblast, which will one-shot this thing. But we do know Breaking Swipe, which will take the sting out of these moves. We shield up the first Moonblast correctly, and we're going to look to debuff this thing even further. Now, I think we do want to get an Earthquake off on this thing, but unfortunately, Cresselia just outpaces to the Moonblasts. They get to them in 7 and then 6, so they're just heavily outpacing to the Earthquake. Moonblast coming through, with the debuffs, it does not take us out. And you're seeing how close this matchup is getting. We've shielded once, and this match is getting super close. This one Breaking Swipe will get them super low, and at this point, folks, we're going to swap into Reggie, look to get extra farm. In comes Pidgeot, we can let any move go. This thing does not know a single move that can do any damage to us. This thing is just completely dead against Registeel. We're going to blast it out of here. The opponent is fighting to the very bitter end here. They're not looking to give up this match without a fight, but that's fine. Like, they can Brave Bird us here, and surely after the Brave Bird, they just realize it's over. No, they're still fighting. They're still fighting. I guess Cresselia learned Focus Blast yesterday, and I just didn't hear about it, but in comes Cresselia. We're going to farm them down, and the match is getting to the timer here. The opponent really did fight this out to the end, and that's going to be a good game. In Ultra League, you do tend to get a lot of matches where they do go to the timer because of the, of course, bulkier Pokemon. And in this particular team, we have the debuffs. We have Registeel, which is just super thick. And of course, opponents are using super thick Pokemon as well. In comes Charizard. We swap straight out to this. This will be just Dragon Claw. So I'm not too sure about this one. To be fair, like, the opponent can look to one-shot, of course, with the Blast Burn. Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward Pokemon for this whole team, if you think about it. I think Altaria is really your only answer to this. So we've debuffed it twice, so that is good, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, Altaria does have a positive matchup here. So typically you don't really go into your answer to the Pokemon. The opponent did end up swapping out, but the good thing is we've got a misaligned timer. Now this is generally just quite a rough team. We've got Charizard, right, which is going to be able to one-shot the Registeel. We've got Nidoqueen, which if they go for Earth Power will do about 50-60% of the Registeel. About 50%. They could go for the Baits, which will debuff you. We're just in a really, really tough position here, and we're pretty much, yeah, they're going to get to another Earth Power. I guess we're just letting this go. I think, you know, we just don't really have a win condition this match, it would seem, unless Altaria can completely sweep the Virizion in the back. Ladies and gents, maybe this match is not over yet. Maybe I'm calling this too soon. It was looking very, very bleak and very dead, but, you know, unfortunately these double kicks are going to add up, and at this point we do sort of have to make a call. It is Secret Sword, but the one concerning thing here is that the Charizard, I think, does have a little bit of loaded energy. So we need to match that energy in some respect, and if we shield this, the opponent will be able to just fire off a move on us, unfortunately. So unfortunately, I think we're just going to get Wing Attack down. Very, very tough team composition, and Charizard looks to be an awkward one with this team. Yeah, if it's a non-Shadow Charizard, do you live a Blast Burn? You maybe just play that out in the zeros. In comes this thing, and Altaria just completely walls this I can't speak. Brand newly buffed. Okay, let's just forget it, right? Let's just forget it. We're going to go for a Scat Attack in this thing. Let's just go for a Scat Attack in this thing. Come on, hurry up. Scat Attack it. Oh, shit. Knocked the knob off my microphone stand. Yeah, we're going to Scat Attack this thing. We're going to build up extra energy, which is nice here. Look to threaten whatever comes back in. What will the opponent decide to do? They do let it go, and we just beat that in the Zero Shield. Now in comes Clefable, and the good thing about this matchup here, they do know Meteor Mash, they do know Moonblast, but they don't have any fast move pressure, so like we can comfortably just stay in here, look to fire off a couple of moves. Of course they're going to farm us the whole way down, but we need to keep... Oh, we're actually almost getting to another move. It was getting a little bit risky for the opponent there. We're going to come in with Registeel, just soak up everything. There's not a single move they can throw that will hurt this thing. and the opponent is staying in here for a minute and dumping energy. So this is a very, very good sign that Registeel may be able to do something in the back. The opponent comes in, I believe that was a Jellicent right there. Registeel generally can one-shot this thing, and at this point we're bringing this thing in, getting some usage out of it, looking to go for an Earthquake or a debuff. We're going to shield up the first one. Unfortunately, the opponent is a beater, they go for Surf, you hate to see it. We're going to fire off this Breaking Swipe, look to debuff the opponent does call it, and are we going to commit to the Earthquake on this occasion? I think we can live anyone moving out at this point. Shadow Ball coming through, we comfortably live it. It makes this Pokemon look so bulky, you know, with these debuffs, it makes the opponent, this Pokemon look way bulkier. The opponent shields it up, which is pretty surprising. Back in comes Clefable. We're going to look to debuff this thing. And at this point, Reggie's going to come back in, maybe look to lock on Farm Down, shield nothing on this, lock on Farm Down, and look to just completely one-shot the opponent in the back. Now, can we actually get to this in time? This is tough. We're farming up to 100 energy. This is a tough lock on down. This thing is pretty thick, and back in comes Jellicent. Now, can we get to enough moves in time? That is the question. Surf going through. Oh, this is getting very, very close. We do get to the Zap Cannon, and this is going to be a good game. Very, very nice game there. Very, very close as well. That extra HP in the Ultra League coming in clutch. Very bad lead from the opponent, Sylveon, and in comes Haxorus. Now, once again, we may invest a shield early, because Body Slam will add up. This is actually a non-shadow Snorlax, so it's a little bit better, but we do want to generally debuff it first, and then maybe look to consider farming it the whole way down. Of course, they have a Sylveon, and if they're not prepared for the Earthquake, they're going to find out about it. Body Slam coming through, we're just going to completely farm this thing the whole way down. We do have an Earthquake loaded. Will the opponent respect the Earthquake? And how much damage will this thing do? Sylveon is pretty bulky, but I'm expecting this to do a lot of damage. It does a ton of damage. It gets them deep into the yellow. Well, you know, just about in the yellow. In comes Altaria on the Swampert, and this is the perfect alignment here. You're going to have your Registeel on the Sylveon, and you're going to have your Altaria on this. So this is looking to be a good game. The opponent, they do have an extra shield, but that's not going to save them in this situation. Sky Attack coming through. One more Sky Attack will take them out. And you know, like, actually the opponent's in Quick Attack as well, so you don't really have to worry about them going for a huge farm down. Yeah, we're just going to farm this thing the whole way down at this point. Unless they know Sludge Wave, which is pretty rare. They have nothing to hit us with here. We're committing to the farm down. We can just let this go. This won't KO, and we'll get off maybe 1 or 2 moves. And we're going to swap straight out and look to basically get back into this matchup again. This thing, sorry, my mistake, this thing is on Charm. So in comes a very, very difficult Pokemon by the looks of things. What is your answer to this? You don't really have one, is the answer to that. That thing just absolutely hit like a truck. But the opponent is giving us half a chance here. They swap out, and they're giving us a chance to realign, get energy in different places, maybe look to farm down the Jellicent with something like Altaria perhaps. That's definitely the benefit of swapping out. At times, you can look to take an advantage in the middle game somewhere, whether it be energy or shields. And at this point, we're coming in with a Reggie. This is interesting for sure. Are we going to look to... This is an interesting one. Are we going to get 100 energy and then look to farm it down? So it looks like we're going for this. I think again we could be going for this undercharge. We don't quite make it. And back in comes... Oh, it's Cobalion this time. And of course in comes this thing. I'm going to call it here. I'm thinking this is a GG right here. This is definitely a tough team. This thing seems to be very powerful in Ultra League. And if you look up the best teams in the Ultra League, you'll see this on one of the teams. I think this may be the team actually. This thing looks to be very, very strong. Especially in the shadow form. These Night Slashes are adding up. The only thing here is the opponent has not got a boost. If you want to take a positive out of this situation, the opponent has not got a boost yet. Or maybe they did and I just didn't notice it. They probably have boosted like 4 times already, because it is a 100% chance, so... maybe they have got boosted. But yeah, this is looking kind of tough. Our only real option here is to farm a Dime of Reggie. At this point, the opponent comes straight in. Now again, we do win this in the 0 shielding scenario. It'll take them multiple Secret Swords, but they've already applied a lot of damage to us. We will have to shield this up once, and we'll have Focus Blast and maybe look to take it out. Yeah, this is looking so tough. We can't farm this thing down with the Steel typing, and we decide to let it go. Very good games by Starlord, and thank you very much for sending in these battles. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications as well. Join us in Discord if you want to join the community, do practice battles and watch our Discord streams, and feel free to submit some battles of your own in the link in the description down below. Thank you very much everybody, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for a brand new video.